Let's get into the market commentary of the day. Bank of America's Michael Hartnett writing a research note this morning to clients saying that investors should fade the recent stock rally following Tuesday's CPI print. Markets seeing jumps in small caps, financials, tech, and China-exposed assets. But Hartnett saying the risks from building technical and macroeconomic headwinds may not be worth the short-term rewards of a rally. Madison Mills is here to break it all down. Maddie, break down everything I just said and put it in layman's terms for everyone in terms of what Michael Hartnett
what
believes
just happened? I blacked out.
And the risk-on rally that we've seen.
That was great. You grabbed a lot of my first talking points here, Shauna. So that was perfect. I'm going to go with what we were talking about, pulling out one word here from Hartnett, the epic risk rally of the past week that we saw, of course, due to those easing financial conditions. We saw bond yields dropping from 5 to 4%, dropping even more as we head into the end of the week, contributing to that rally here. We also saw this with that jump in small caps I've been talking about all week, and shares of even U.S. regional banks and China stocks as well going up. Hartnett describing that as a shift from caution to year-end greed. So a little bit of selling off there that we're seeing towards the end of the week. But his broader point is that, like you said, Shauna, we're going to have to do some fading above that 4,500 level and kind of breaking from some of the other bears on the street. Morgan Stanley's Michael Wilson and Goldman Sachs also holding a little bit more of an optimistic view here on the equity market, predicting that S&P 500 levels are going to be at 4,500 and even 4,700 by the end of 2024, respectively. But Hartnett finding a little bit more bearish sentiment, even on the oil market, too, that Jared was talking about earlier.
What about the fund manager survey? What was revealed there?
Yeah, so the fund managers having a little bit more of an optimistic view. They're bullish on bonds, overweight position. The outlook for a soft landing is at 67%. The outlook for lower inflation's at 82%. So I love to hear that. I love thinking about my cost of items going down.
The rest of us, yeah.
But as Miles pointed out to me before the show, the real takeaway, the real tea here is that Hartnett
responded to a Slack.
I'm giving you a shout out. I'm giving you credit.
Thank you.
Live on air, Miles. Take it. Take the win. Hartnett was saying, the least likely outcome of 2024 is that all of this good news that the fund manager survey found actually happens, that this consensus comes to reality heading into 2024. So we'll have to see. I mean, we always talk about this, but is the Fed going to change course after 1 week of great data that's led to this rally in the stock market this week? I feel like they're probably going to take a couple pauses and see whether or not we're actually getting a little bit of a decrease in inflation.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think the good call out from this note is the way that behaviors from investors around trying to square up their portfolios, it's kind of been the theme all morning, can impact the market in the short term. And all the stuff that was bought or sold, and oil is kind of within that category, have been the things that have been either underperforming, been the laggards, or have been the outperformers this year. What's been interesting is, you kind of have the buy first, ask questions later attitude in markets, and that's certainly been prevailing over the last couple of years. Think about the AI trade. Yeah. Well, right now we're getting all this information that, the fundamentals of the Magnificent Seven, they actually are awesome. There was a reason to buy all that stuff. So with the regional banks right now, with the Russell 2000 right now, you have a lot of investors going out, buying all these things that got superficially got super cheap, huge discounts, 3-year lows, the Russell, whatever you want to do with all these kind of call outs. And then everyone can, sit around at Thanksgiving and say, is this actually cheap? Should we actually be owning this? Or is it just going to go up a couple percent by the end of the year? And I think Hartnett really calling out that risk that people say, yeah, I didn't really mean to buy small caps. They just went up a lot. And I'm going to go back to selling them because you look at the chart and it's not the most constructive thing you've ever seen in the world.
Yeah.
You also got to look inside of what the topics are going to be at your Thanksgiving dinner table, I guess, this year, too.
Topics Thanksgiving dinner table is, do you have to throw that on the floor? Can we not?
That's a topic every single night.